Welcome to Nolan Knows. It's time for the news. Trevor Noah, who is going to take over hosting duties for The Daily Show, is facing some backlash because he's tweeted and posted some jokes that some thought were anti-Semitic and sexist. I read them. They were. But they were also kind of clever and kind of funny. I'm sure he's going to do fine. It's not the end of his career by any means. Press to pay. Amazon's got a dash button that they say will allow you to buy diapers and razor blades and Gatorade. Just hit the right button, the right product, and it gets sent to you. Could be an April Fool's joke, I don't know. Technology is advancing faster than I can imagine. If they really want this to catch on, they'll find a way to hook it up to the adult film industry. Somehow that'll make it a success. It worked for VHS. If you're within 50 miles of the border of the United States, you may encounter a checkpoint. It's where the government wants to make sure that you're a U.S. citizen. I always thought we were free to travel without showing our papers, but people are getting tired of being stopped by Border Patrol. They're filming it, they're resisting it. Who knows, maybe they'll be successful in getting rid of those nasty checkpoints. You shouldn't need to show your papers to travel around the country, and you shouldn't be stopped unless there's probable cause that you're doing something wrong. Michelle Obama's healthy eating program for kids in school, oh, that's a dandy. You don't want the parents and the children to use the marketplace supply and demand to decide what they're going to serve for lunch. No, you want a couple of bureaucrats in Washington to figure out what they're going to eat. Well, it isn't working too well. Schools are losing money all around the country, and in one particular location, they're actually taking the food the kids won't eat, and they're feeding it to pigs. Facebook is being accused of tracking all users, even if they delete their account and ask never to be followed. Facebook denies that this is the case. They say it's not really what's going on here. I don't know. I don't particularly care for Facebook. If it weren't for the radio broadcast, I wouldn't be on Facebook at all. But here's a solution. If you're afraid that Facebook will follow you, don't sign up. The Internal Revenue Service apparently is ignoring 60% of taxpayer calls. As April 15th looms, when you call your friendly or perhaps not so friendly IRS agent, you hope to get a response. But because of Obamacare, they're stretched to the max. And I also think to a certain extent they might just purposely be not answering because they want more money. Bureaucracies do that a lot. Hey, hundreds of people are apparently lining up in Washington, D.C. for free marijuana seeds because now you can grow it without the government busting you. Those are some happy seeds, man. All right, the story of the week, unless you've been in a coma, has been the state of Indiana with their right to discriminate law. I don't think there's any other way we could call it. Indiana's religious freedom deal. It's silly. It's not religious freedom. Let's lay it out, put the cards right on the table right now. It's not about religion. It's about what you like and what you don't like, and if you're a store owner, a retailer, or a manufacturer, you ought to have the right to be wrong. And let's not hide behind religion. It hasn't got much to do with religion. It doesn't have to be religion. It could be a real honest-to-God bias, but you should be able to have that bias. You should be able, in this country, to let society gauge what happens to you when you're an idiot. Now, jumping on the famed bandwagon is a pizza parlor in Indiana that decided they weren't going to serve pizza at gay weddings. Now, forgive me for being crass here, but if you're hosting your wedding at a pizza place, you got bigger problems than whether or not they'll serve gays. I mean, what do you reserve the table at the back of the KFC for your next wedding reception? It's the silliest thing I've ever heard of. But they're climbing on board and they're making money. People have sent them over $100,000 in donations because they closed their doors over all the backlash about their anti-pizza gay wedding day. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard of. It has nothing to do with religion. Let's just give people back the right to be discerning. It's time now for the Squirrel of the Week. Our Squirrel of the Week, well, that would have to be a brothel in Nevada because they've decided they want to host Harry Reid's retirement party. For those of you who aren't familiar with Harry Reid, he for 6 years has been the head of the U.S. Senate, and he's the guy that's been running interference for President Obama. The fact that they would even contemplate, well, it's frankly humorous to think of, hosting a retirement party at a brothel seems perfect since, frankly, Congress and the brothel are both in the same business, only Congress does it to all of us. In any case, they think that Obamacare has been good for prostitutes. I'm sure it has.